Welcome, everybody, to Pinfalls and Passports. For those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you who love the sport of professional wrestling and for members of our WWE Travel Community Discord server. Now, a member of the WWE Travel Community, come join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find the Discord invite link here on the podcast bio. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Pinfalls and Passports, on X at Pinfalls and Pass, and on TikTok at Pinfalls_Passports. And please don't forget to follow and subscribe to this podcast to keep up to date with all the things involving the world of professional wrestling. My name is Dorkchop. This is Pinfalls and Passports. And joining me for this episode is Mira. And we're going to be discussing what's happening in AEW post-Revolution and the current lineup for Dynasty that's occurring on April 12th. And also, one other thing, we broke the 2,000 barrier.
Yes, we have. I think we're at 2,036 currently. 2,036
That's
members.
Crazy.
3 years in the making. Martin, you did great work. It's been great.
Shout out Tribal Chief. Acknowledge him.
Shout out Tribal Chief. I know with the incorporation of our WWE World Bot, that's bringing in a lot of new people. So hopefully they all stick around post-Mania because we're a good bunch of folks. So I'm very proud of what this server has done. It's a great community, man.
It definitely is, and I'm definitely stoked to be a part of it. I'm definitely stoked that we hit that milestone before WrestleMania.
Yo.
You remember 2 years ago when it was just like maybe 300 people total?
Yes.
And then we had people doing crazy stuff to celebrate when we hit 1,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And now, I gotta run naked into traffic or something to celebrate 2,000.
Vegas is on the horizon.
Yeah, dork high on peyote, running around like an idiot.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Middle-aged and crazy, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
But anyway, we got some AEW stuff to cover today. And Mira, why don't you kick it off?
Right. So we're on the road to Dynasty. Okay. Since AEW Revolution, the landscape of whole elite wrestling has shifted dramatically, especially in the men's division. There's intense new rivalries that are really occurring. We had some major debuts. We had some unfortunate injuries occur too, which really, really sucks, especially on the road to All In. But let's talk about those big returns. So we had Kenny Omega return at Revolution. He returned after Swerve Strickland defeated Brody King, and he saved Brody from the post-match cinder block stomp. And this pretty much accelerated Kenny back into that main title picture. I believe this is either Kenny's last major run as a professional wrestler, it seems. Mm-hmm. So, we're just looking at the positives here. So that was really good to see him come back there. Then we also had Will Ospreay. He made his first appearance since August of 2025. Yep. And he attacked Jon Moxley and the Death Riders following Moxley's victory over Konosuke Takeshita. So that was really good to see.
That kind of confused me. I mean, I know he had beef with the Death Riders before he went out on injury, but I noticed that the Death Riders had been riding more on the babyface side. So I was like, are they going back heel or?
So I feel like Jon Moxley was the member that was more babyface, mm-hmm. and everyone else in his faction were more heels in that sense.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley's just like amongst all the fans at this point, it seems, but I feel like now he's more in that heel persona that he pretty much had 2 monts ago with Will Ospreay now coming back. That's what it gives me.
Yeah, because I was a little confused on the alignment there for a second, and it's a little hard to follow if you're a casual follower like myself, but I guess I can roll with it.
It'll be, well, we'll talk about it later, but he's back for a vengeance. He's seeking revenge against Jon Moxley and the Death Rider, especially since he had that major injury. So we'll see what's on the horizon, and we'll talk about it a little bit later about what is in the works for Ospreay at Dynasty, and you're going to see a banger. Honestly, I think you're going to see a banger.
Can't wait.
The next return we had was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. They shocked the crowd and attacked FTR after their successful defense against the Young Bucks. So, that was a really big pop in that LA crowd there. Mm-hmm. We were all really anticipating, I was about to call him Edge, Adam and Christian coming back, but but in that sense, it's just like, okay, we know what's next for FTR. What is that going to look like? Are they going to retain? Are they going to be, the best tag team in the world, or will Adam Copeland and Christian Cage come in and swipe it up under, like, right out from
I'm
under
just
them
stoked
in
I
that
get to
sense?
see them one more time. Yeah, I mean, because I was pretty much an Edge head coming up.
Mm-hmm.
When he started to really get white hot, um, prior to the Rated R Superstar era,
Yeah.
and now that he's a Rated R legend, um, I you don't know how many. He says he wants to retire this year in Toronto,
Yeah.
so knowing that he's on limited time, he's on borrowed time essentially. He wants to
Yeah.
go out on his own terms, on his shield basically, and
Mm-hmm.
retire his way instead of the way he initially retired in 2011. Um, any appearances he makes are pretty much special, so they're special attractions, and so I get a little choked up about it.
Soak it in, man.
Yeah.
Soak it in. I'm telling you. Oh no, but I'm very excited to see them back on the screen. I think they have this this edge about them. No pun intended. But like, they have this edge about them because Adam Copeland is seeking revenge, because the last time he was on screen prior to this was Beth Copeland was being, basically beat up by FTR. So he's out for revenge
Yep.
in that sense. He's out for revenge because even at last year's Dynasty, I think that's when they turned against Adam. So, this is a year in the making, in the sense. So I'm very excited. And we had another return that just happened on the April 1st edition of the Dynamite. And
Yep.
after being away for nearly a year, Chris Jericho returns, interrupting the contract signing between MJF and Omega. He actually comes out prior to any of the talent coming out to sign the contract, but it was just like, oh, Chris Jericho's back. The crowd was singing, his song, all that stuff. I don't think it was as big as a pop as he wanted, but the fans there did enjoy him being back.
It's
But
one
no,
of,
that
one of
was
those. I heard about it. I was like, okay.
right. Like, I'm like, where are we going to go with this?
Yeah, I was
Another,
99% convinced he was going to WWE. So
I think
about
he kind
that.
of just he kind of just blew that up in smoke. But
Yeah.
another quote unquote debut, I would say, or another debut in this sense, or just a debut, would be Ronda Rousey. She appeared at Revolution after Tony Storm beat Shafir, but she's not signed or anything. I think it was just a one-off appearance.
Yeah.
Hopefully that remains the case. But yeah, she had an appearance, and then we had Herkua Shira. I'm pretty sure I probably
Hikaru
pronounced her
Shida.
name. Yes, Akara Shida made her appearance on the April 2nd edition of Collision, facing Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship in an open challenge. And she was nearly absent for over 500 days. So this is a great addition to add to your women's roster. Tony, you have one of the best women's rosters in the world. If you can utilize her and Willow and Chris Statlander to the best of their abilities, because Chris Statlander is also very young. Willow's younger. You have Mercedes Moné when she ultimately returns. You have Toni Storm when she ultimately returns. You have Athena. You have all this fucking talent. Lock in and do what you have to do, please, sir.
Yeah, and I would agree on the your assessment of the women's talent. There's just his cup runneth over, and he really needs to use it better. I think.
Yup.
Because, he needs to show the other guys how it's done. You got all these toys. Play with them.
Yeah, the other guys.
That's another topic for another time.
Yep. So another potential big return that is on the horizon is Mercedes Moné. She is on her Madness tour all over the world. She's dropping titles like it's hot, which is fine, because guess what? We are looking, as a Mercedes Moné fan, you are looking at the big picture here. You have to look at the big picture. If she's dropping all these titles, she's helping these indie promotions get over, having their talent have this bigger picture like having this bigger pond for them in the future, especially with these matches she's been putting on. A lot of them that I've been seeing from Instagram or X, the clips have been great, and the crowd is giving her a standing ovation more times than not. So her final stop was in Winnipeg, which was the recent site for the Dynamite. She did not make an appearance there, but that's her final stop before her words. Mama takes over. So will she return in Edmonton or Vancouver, or will it even be after those events?
How many belts does she
That's
have now?
I think she's down to 2 or 1, and the 1 belt would be the Owen Hart Classic, which isn't really a belt that's defended on
Oh.
a weekly basis, and this is the time of year where the Owen Hart Classic actually starts to kick off, so I'm under the assumption that she will be returning really, really soon. Austin,
Okay.
I hope she returns for you, brother. I really do. I really
Yeah, yeah.
I really do, because I
That would
know
pop
he's
me.
like he was like, "The clock is ticking. Take your ass down to Jacksonville." So we'll see. We'll see now.
Yeah.
On a harsher topic, I hate this, but as of April 2026, there are several major stars in AEW who are sidelined with injuries. One I will say is Tony Storm. There's a lot of speculation about what is going on with Tony Storm, and we're just gonna leave it as that.
Yeah.
Wishing her a speedy recovery.
Well, I
Um,
mean, the rumor is that her absence is due to something that's not major injury related.
Exactly. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if it's,
Something
you know,
else?
her personal life, but
Yeah.
either way, we wishing her back on our screens pretty soon. It would be nice, but
Yeah, because
if
she's
not,
apparently rumored to be out for the rest of 2026.
that
And
is correct. Mhm.
and that's a major loss for the AEW women's division.
Especially on the babyface side because she's very much beloved. So,
Yeah.
um, hoping that she's back soon. There's a lot of speculation behind it, but we love Tony Storm over here, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. She's great. It's a great character, great promo work. We're gonna miss the slut you can't rebut. But when she comes back, I'm sure she'll be better than ever.
Oh, for sure. And then another this one hurts me to my heart. Kyle Fletcher, our TNT champion, sustained a legitimate lower leg knee injury during the March 26th episode of Collision. He's been seen in a walking boot, and his status for the actual TNT championship remains really uncertain.
Yeah.
Um, and I hate it here. Wishing Kyle Fletcher a speedy recovery. I'm going to suspect that Dynasty there's going to be some type of announcement. Well, prior to it, we're only a week away at this point,
Yeah.
honestly.
Next
So
Sunday.
they exactly. So they have to make some type of announcement in the next coming days about his status officially. Um, and what they're going to do with this TNT title. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I mean, because Champa and Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher have been having some really great matches. Some absolute wars
Mhm.
over this belt. And to hear that he has sustained a major injury, just given the types of matches that he's been in recently, is not much of a surprise, but it's still a huge, huge loss for AEW. So,
Yep.
yeah, best wishes, and you know, hopefully we see him back soon. But if it's a knee injury, who knows how long that could
Us
take?
yeah, just depending on what it is too, because we don't know much. We just know that it's the lower leg
Right.
injury. So I'm like, dang it. Another knee or leg related injury is Josh Alexander. He underwent severe knee surgery
Oh no.
in late March 26th. Those who don't know, Josh Alexander is a part of the Don Callis family. And he sustained an injury during a trios match, and there's no timeline for his return at this time, so
Oh,
we'll see. Again, wishing him a speedy recovery.
that's a theme here.
And yep, because at this rate, it just seems like a lot of key people are out.
Yeah.
Penelope Ford has not been able to honestly see any ease with injury because she had an injury before this one, but she was sidelined as of February 26th with a lower body injury.
Hmm.
And Tony Khan noted that she would be out for weeks, possibly even up to months. So that's just really uncertain.
Right.
And then Mark Quay of Private Party, he was injured in early April 2026, and he's out for an definite period. So this is leaving his tag team partner, Isaiah Cassidy, to compete as a singles wrestler. And we've seen in AEW that when someone's partner is out, a good example is Kyle Fletcher.
Right.
When Mark Davis got injured, he was pushed to the moon. I think Isaiah will do good on his own. It may take some time to get over with the crowd, especially him being now a singles competitor, but I think this might do him some good.
Yeah, it'll be give him a chance to shine on his own, kind of
Mhm.
get out there and show the crowd what he can do, expose them to a new side of him. I'm not entirely familiar with Private Party, but I know that a lot of people feel like they're an underutilized asset in AEW, and
Yep.
well, let's just hope that he actually gets that Isaiah gets properly utilized in Mark's absence.
Yeah, I think if he's able to get that Kyle Fletcher type push,
Yeah.
that would actually be really freaking cool, not gonna lie. And then a positive note, so Colton Gunn, he was recently cleared to return after an 8-month absence. So that's one person that is off the shelf. And also Bobby Lashley is back because I think he was injured as well. Him and the Hurt Syndicate made an appearance, saying they're seeking um, they're trying to look for like someone new. So I feel like Isaiah could be a good fit. I don't know if Cedric Alexander, I think he's still in TNA, but like if he was a free agent, like that could work potentially, but we'll see. We'll
We
see who they're
heard
in the market.
people.
We'll see who they're in the market for
Yeah.
coming soon, more than likely. And then major fallout from the Revolution pay-per-view.
Okay.
MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. They had a barbaric Texas death match.
Yeah.
MJF does retain his title by choking out Adam Page in
God.
a
Yeah, I saw the end of
dull
that and I
collar
was like,
change.
yikes.
Yup. And the stipulation was that Adam Page can never challenge for the AEW World Championship again.
This
I
bullshit.
hate I hate that shit so much. We've seen it with Cody Rhodes, see what happened with that aspect of it. But I believe Adam Page wanted some time off, so they granted that to him.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that time off will be, but he will be off the screens for the foreseeable future. We did crown some new champions at Revolution as well. Jack Perry is the new national champion after winning the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal. The Divine Dominion of Megan Bayne and Lena Cross captured the women's tag team titles, and Mystico joined forces. I don't know why I can't talk to that with Jet Speed to take the trio champion. So it was actually great to see that Mystico. I believe he's officially signed with AEW now, so that's really good to see.
Well, that renders me Sin Cara.
Yes, exactly. And then also in the women's division at Revolution, outside of the Divine Dominion taking the win, we had Thekla retain her title against Chris Statlander in a grueling 2 out of 3 falls match. Thekla stole the first pinfall, as a heel would.
Yeah.
Statlander evened it out with the Saturday Night Fever, but interference from the sisters, a sin of Julia Hart and Sky Blue, allowed Thekla
Hi,
to
Sky.
secure the deciding fall. And then during 0 hour, Willow Nightingale did double duty, and she successfully defended her TBS championship against Lena Cross, but she suffered a kayfabe shoulder injury in the process. So that was unfortunate, but
It led to consequences later in the show.
exactly. And then Tony Storm and Amina Shafir, they had about Storm won, and then like we stated earlier, Storm has been sidelined for the foreseeable future, but there was this mysterious backstage attack that occurred on the March 25th edition of the Dynamite. So that's how they wrote her off the show. And honestly, we'll see what's
Yeah. They
happening
haven't even
here.
given us breadcrumbs. I mean, there's been
Nope.
rumors, but we're not going to speculate on rumors.
Exactly. And storylines for the women's division heading into the Dynasty, honestly, it really gets under my skin that we don't have more for this, but the current setup for the Dynasty is Alex Windsor versus Mina Shafir. This has been added to the 0 hour pre-show.
Okay.
Alex Windsor is the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, and she's going to be facing the Death Rider associate in a cross promotional like clash there. I don't believe the belt is on the line.
I was about
My
to ask that.
my assumption is that this is to help the storyline of who attacked Tony type of thing as well, just to try to keep that moving. That's what my assumption is, because I think the assumption is that her and possibly Ronda Rousey had something to do with this attack somehow, somewhere.
Oh no.
I feel like
Color me
yeah, I feel
intrigued.
like yeah, I feel like that'll be a big swerve, and it's going to be someone we will not expect that attack Tony Storm ultimately. Um, and speaking of Tony Storm, it's the who attacked Tony Storm mystery. So with her being out for the foreseeable future in this sense, and we don't know who actually attacked her. I feel like this story is going to do wonders for Mina Shirakawa's career, in my opinion. She's been highlighted a lot more now, but she's been aligned with Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter at this point. So we don't know. It's more of like a Scooby Doo mystery, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. So looking at the card for Dynasty.
Yep.
Oh wow. I mean, this is shaping up to be a pretty.
Yeah, these are all the confirmed matches. So we have MJF versus Kenny Omega. This is for the AEW Men's World Championship. Omega became the number one contender by defeating Strickland on the March 25th episode of Dynamite. It was EVP status for number one contendership. So
Yeah. I did see Swerve make that challenge to Kenny. That's when I kind of realized, no way Swerve's winning, unfortunately. Yeah, as soon as I heard EVP status put on the line, I was like, well, nice knowing you, Swerve.
Yep. And then we have FTR versus Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the AEW Men's Tag Team Championship. So the veterans are seeking one more run as a duo, and FTR is claiming them as a nostalgia act.
Oh. Yeah,
So,
no, I mean,
they're
top
not
guys
completely
versus
wrong.
these two guys from the Attitude Era.
Yep.
It's if anybody can get a great match out of them. I mean, not that Christian Cage and Adam Copeland need help getting a great match. I mean, they're up there in age, but they can still go. Maybe not as good as they once did, but put them in the ring with FTR, and they're gonna create magic.
Yeah, so I'm very I feel like this is going to be my match that I'm like looking forward to the most.
Okay.
But we'll see. And then we have Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay. So this was just a regular match.
Oh.
This was a regular match before. As of this past Wednesday, Ospreay came out and was like, the only way to ensure that the Death Riders will not be out ringside at all or interfere at all is to make sure that the AEW Continental Championship is on the line, because then Ospreay has 20 minutes to beat up Jon Moxley without any interference, which makes sense, but we really didn't need that belt on the line.
Oh, well, hey, color me excited, bruv.
Yep. And then, Ospreay, he's on a revenge tour right now, so anything he can do to get his hands on Moxley and the Death Riders will do him great. And then we have Thekla versus Jamie Hayter.
My heart.
So Thekla's been having a dominant reign. She's such a fucking great heel, in my opinion.
My God, yes.
And Jamie Hayter had a backstage promo which aired on Collision, and basically saying like, I was a former champion. She never lost a belt because I believe she had to relinquish it for injury, if I'm not mistaken. So she's like, we're going to do this bout at Dynasty, and I'm not upset about it. I just wish there was a little bit more time to build it, and maybe within the next week we can see some of that, but it's not going to be as built as it should be.
Right.
Can't
build
we could
them all,
see,
unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly, and we may see an appearance from a few folks or one particular CEO, but we'll see. That's TBD. And then the other match that has been announced is Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin in a grudge match. Exactly. Tensions rose after the Don Callis family attacked Darby, although Andrade seemed very hesitant about joining the beatdown. Like, he's like, why me? He's like, what the fuck? So we'll see what other matches come from this. I think Dynasty is shaping up. You are in for a great show.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So those that are attending, you lucky bastards. But no, for real. I think it's going to be a good show. I think we'll get at least 4 more matches announced, maybe 5. So we'll see how that goes. Also, those that are attending, if you haven't listened to our Vancouver edition episode about think like where to eat, where to sightsee, how to get around,
Yep.
definitely check that out. We had our server member, Nicole, on. She's a Vancouver native, so
Yeah.
please check that out. It
Great
was
episode.
really good to hear
Very
her
informative
perspective.
for people like me who are going to Vancouver for AEW Dynasty. I'm going to be spending about 4 days out there myself. I'm excited for that. I think it's a great precursor to my Vegas trip for WrestleMania. As a casual viewer of the AEW shows, this is my first live event for AEW, so I'm really excited for that. And I'm really excited to explore Vancouver and have some. Yes, I'm looking forward to the poutine.
Shoot, even prior to that, like your trip was only supposed to be for like 2 days. You extended it to 4 days now. So,
Yep.
I mean, hey, so listen, those that are attending, you're gonna have a great time. Make sure to take pictures, soak it in, especially with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage.
Yep.
So it'll be a great time, I'm looking forward to watching this pay-per-view.
Oh, I am definitely looking forward to it as well. I've got a great seat. I almost said seat. It's like, I'm going by myself. That's not plural.
No, I got you, but
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody from the server there, and looking forward to seeing a great show in Vancouver. And I love these little recaps that we do because it kind of, brings me up to speed as somebody who does not subscribe to HBO Max, but should, because my beloved Huskies are in the Final Four.
oh yeah, also I'm gonna give a shout to, I guess, my AEW TV or whatever their new product is. Now I subscribe to them, but I use a VPN, so I'm able to watch the weekly shows. I'm able to watch, past pay-per-views, ROH, things like that. If you are trying to, get an active way to watch my AEW for a cheaper price than paying $40 a month for the pay-per-views through HBO Max. That's what I'm doing. It's only $19.99, I believe. And then if you already have a VPN for the WWE brand, because we're not buying ESPN over here. So we're not buying ESPN over here. So if you do have one, I definitely recommend checking out myaew.com. It's honestly better than Triller. It's better than HBO Max with streaming, in my opinion, and all the other ones as well. Hearing just from people in the server that have used the other international platforms, this has been really seamless, in my opinion. But that does it for us today. We will be back with some other content. We are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. AEW has, Dynasty happening next weekend. And then after that, it's a Double or Nothing that'll be in Queens, New York. So we have a lot coming up, y'all.
And not only that, but this upcoming Wednesday is our last recorded episode before I head out. And then you and Danny will head out soon after that. So we'll be getting ready to do a live episode in Vegas.
Yeah, hopefully we can squeeze that in with all of our packed schedules.
Oh my God, yeah. I keep looking at my schedule and being like, what was I thinking? Your vacation should not be work.
No. It's okay, because guess what? It's Vegas, so it's fun.
It's Vegas, it's WrestleMania. It's the best time of the year. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really excited. So